Can everyone hear me back there? Okay? Okay. Thanks so much for having me here. This is really exciting. Someone actually asked me when I first got in, they said, what is your connection to Denmark? And I actually realized I didn't have a good answer. Other than ice cream. I think ice cream is my relationship to Denmark. This is actually the first office I opened on Avikini about 6 years ago now. And when we first moved in, we didn't have a lot of clients, didn't have a lot to do. So it just so happens that Nice Cream was a couple doors down, and I want to take full credit for Christian and Laura's success tonight. You're all my witness. I'm taking full credit for their success because we would go 2 or 3 times a day. After some time, we did actually get a few clients. That's my partner Nikolai there, and we did get a few more desks and people. So I think it's a really interesting question, this question of design versus the market. What comes first, design or the market? And I think at my studio, Push Offices, I think we're actually more interested in this combustion between, right? What is happening in that space between? And a lot of the work that we loosely do, we use design to understand the market, right? So a while back, Reebok approached us, many of you guys know this brand, and they wanted to understand the fitness enthusiast, right? So someone who didn't compete in tennis or football or soccer and on-court sports. They wanted to understand people that just wanted to be fit. So we went around the world, and we went to London, Paris, Tokyo, Shanghai, New York, Chicago, Los Angeles. We spoke to a lot of these people, but I actually just want to show you a little slice of this project that we did for them. We looked at publications in the fitness space, yoga journals, yoga magazines, bodybuilding magazines. So how do you understand? How do you understand what that space of media is? Well, we actually use design to do that. So it's hard to see here, but this is a tool we invented to track all of the articles in all of those publications for a whole year. And so you start to see some very interesting patterns, and you can actually start to see, the differences between men and women that are spoken in these publications. So like women, the size around here are things that happen more frequently, so words that happen more frequently in magazines. And then the connections are things that happen in conjunction with each other. So you kind of just look at it and you can say, okay, all these magazines are all about losing weight quickly, right? That's what that is. So it's kind of interesting. And the men's ones are all about getting bigger and stronger and explosive power. So that's not necessarily what people want, but that's something that publications are talking to these people about. So it's an interesting situation where design helped us understand a market. And there are certain situations, I think, in our work where design reveals hidden markets. So part of this work that we did traveling around the world, speaking to these fitness people, we actually found that there's this underground phenomena at the time happening called CrossFit. I don't know, is anyone CrossFit people? Has it gotten to Denmark yet? Okay, so it's this kind of a cult-like phenomena. And the work that we did, we actually convinced Reebok that they should open up CrossFit gyms. So a fitness brand traditionally makes footwear and athletic gear, actually opened up gyms. So that was a situation where design revealed hidden markets. A lot of the work that we do at Push, we're trying to create new markets as well. And I think that's really one of the wonderful roles that design can play in our lives. It can create new markets that didn't exist before. And our work, we work in the small space, so we work in the mobile space. So we're doing a lot of mobile development, a lot of mobile design, a lot of mobile interface design. And we also work in larger spaces. So we design large environmental graphics, big interactive displays. This is one we did for Toyota. You guys can look at our website and check it out when you want. But we're entering a space now where every single surface is going to become interactive. Every wall has a possibility to become a designed experience, an interactive experience. So that's a lot of the work that we do at the studio now. And I thought, I'd actually, going a little deeper, I thought I'd split the difference and talk about a medium-sized project, a table that we did. This is for Google. So for Google's Creative Sandbox, for those of you that don't know, the Google Creative Sandbox is kind of the TED of Google. So it's a place where they curate all the coolest, most interesting technology and design into one exhibit. So there was a tour of events, and we designed an interactive table for these events. And I have a short video that will kind of show you what the experience is. So you could take actual physical objects and place them on the table, and the table would come to life, revealing different categories of Google Creative Sandbox projects. So when we talk about design creating a new market, this is actually a job that didn't exist a couple years ago. There was no such thing as an interactive architectural designer, right? That's something design created. A new market that design created. And we're just showing one person now, but you can imagine a group of people standing around this thing, all experiencing it together. So actually this is a much shorter talk than probably you were expecting, but as I look forward to the next 5 years of the studio, I'm actually most interested in that space in between, and that's the thing I'm looking forward to doing. So thank you very much. You don't need another 15 minutes. Do you have any questions? Yeah, okay. Nikolai, do you want to come up? My partner Nikolai is there. You don't want to come up? Okay.
So I have a question because obviously my wife and I, as you mentioned, we have a business we started at the same time as you. Ours is a retail business.
I think you have to come forward a little bit.
Sure. So when we sit at night and dream of taking over the world and we think about branding and things like that, how, let's say we had money to hire a company like you, but how would we actually, thinking about the design in the market, for example, in Los Angeles, all the frozen yogurt, now I'm just talking gelato, frozen yogurt, whatever. Back in when the frozen yogurt craze started, it was pretty much a market I feel was created by playing certain trends that was going on, the health craze, and then you shape the marketing around that. So if I'm thinking my product is not frozen yogurt, gelato, it's organic, I'm still playing those things, but what would my approach be to my branding if I was to expand and things like that? How am I going to attack that? Was it too broad?
No, that's
a question.
I'd love to talk to you more about that question.
But here,
Maybe we could-
this is like free time. So.
Yes. Well, I mean, honestly, knowing you guys and knowing your product, it is so, I remember once, what I love about these guys is that in all the places in Los Angeles they could have opened, they opened up next door to Pinkberry. Not across the street from Pinkberry. Pinkberry is a frozen yogurt chain. No, and they closed them down. So, and I actually want to take a little credit for that too, because one time I was there and I was going in an ice cream and there was a group of girls going into Pinkberry and they had their hand on the Pinkberry door and I actually got them to come over, go into an ice cream, try it, and they bought ice cream. So I think I think to answer your question specifically, I think you have to know your truth, right? Great branding is about truth, and you're never going to succeed if you try to follow every single trend. I think you have to know your core, know your soul, know your truth. And I think your truth is that your product is the best. And so everything that you do from a branding perspective, everything that you do from a design perspective should revolve around that. It should reinforce that. It should remind people of that. It should tell people that don't know that. So I wouldn't, if you were my client, I wouldn't encourage you to follow trends. I would actually work with you to try to find out what is your truth and to tell that in a better way. That's
So
what
we're
I'm-
talking.
Is that good for
Yeah,
freelance?
absolutely. So we're talking more of a storytelling kind of marketing where you're conveying the message of the truth and not so much, bright colors and
Well, that could manifest itself in a lot of ways, right? So if you have the best product, then the packaging should be very minimal, right? Because you don't have to glitz it up with all these extra bells and whistles, right? That might be one way it could manifest itself. There could be a lot of ways that could manifest itself, but I think as long as you can find your truth, then I think that's the core to good branding. At least that's what we tell our clients. So,
Just something.
I could repeat the question.
To that note, I wonder how important it is compared to Denmark versus here, because I think in Denmark it's very quality driven. It's really.
So the role of, say, advertising and marketing in design.
I think advertising works in Denmark just like it does here, but I think people may be more skeptical, and also I think that sometimes, a lot of times, money, you can just push money at something and it will stick for a while. When it comes to the Beanberries of the world,
Yeah. Which actually doesn't taste that good. I don't know if
Red mango. Well, I think that Christian's point is like, and you, as you say, like having a solid product. The question is, do you jump the shark sometimes going too far, or can you stay in business just being mom and pop and having that idea of just staying a certain size?